We have crimes related to illegal access to computer system. We have crimes related to illegal interception of computer data. We have crimes related to computer-related forgery or computer-related fraud. We have crimes related to online child sexual exploitation. There is also the definition of crimes related to intellectual property violations. This is, let's say, the common set of definitions that all countries have. And then each country can also decide to add other articles that are not covered by the Budapest Convention.
Society has become reliant on technology to carry out business, for education, and to gain access to information. But there are those who exploit the system to commit egregious crimes such as the exploitation of children and theft, among other things, using the dark net so they cannot be traced. Through the Budapest Convention drafted in 2001, countries are harmonizing legislation on cybercrime and electronic evidence to stop these online criminals in their tracks. Today, in a first step to have Belize accede to the treaty, a 4-day workshop with stakeholders from various agencies is underway at the Biltmore.
The Council of Europe is supporting the whole process, is supporting the first point, of course, the point of entry is the legislation. Once the legislation is in place, the Council of Europe has this program of capacity building that we are developing, that we have been developing, and that I am managing, which is called Belize Plus, Global Action on Cybercrime. And this is related to building capacities of criminal justice authorities, so law enforcement, so police, magistrates, prosecutors, judges, on these very topics. And to do this, we also partnered with Interpol, who is deploying part of our program on our behalf. And we try to maximize the delivery of technical courses for law enforcement to deal with such topics as darknets or as virtual currencies, because this is what the criminals are now using to hide themselves in the darknet. Electronic evidence as the main issue. So how to retrieve electronic evidence and how to handle correctly electronic evidence so that it can be submitted to court and admitted to court and to trials. And in this, actually, this is very important also for, not just for cybercrimes, but also for those physical crimes where electronic evidence is involved.
While the request was made by Belize back in November of 2019, prior to then, the country has been working on a cybercrime legislation. The idea is to have the domestic legislation aligned with the Budapest Convention so that it is included in a network of countries where common rules and values are shared.
Cyberbullying have been one of the ones that the special envoy and a number of people were very concerned about, and we had seen it fit for us to try and get that portion of the legislation to Cabinet and to have that pass in a very short time frame. And if you all could recall, I think it was in the latter part of last year, we had moved forward with those kinds of initiatives, and Cabinet was able to approve a draft legislation that was presented to them. While we were doing that, we realized that there are other things going in the cyberspace, and we decided that we needed to come with a more comprehensive cybercrime legislation. And we had tasked our task force to put together some draft proposal to go to Cabinet.
Cybercrime is a cross-national threat by definition, so it's very important to have agreement at the international level and not just to draft a legislation that is valid for the national context.
64 countries have acceded to the international treaty. Dwayne Moody for News 5.